Good afternoon. I am Vanessa Thomas with the 12 o'clock news on the street 919 FM and online Facebook and YouTube on IWER TV. In the headlines, the Prime Minister praises the Queen for her selfless duty. Watson Duke fires Farley Augustine. The President distances her office from Paria inquiry tragedy. And internationally, the new King of England, Charles III, will address the UK at 6 p.m. British time. And now the news in detail. Queen Elizabeth will particularly be remembered for her selfless duty to the Commonwealth, says Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. In a media release issued by the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the Prime Minister, who is abroad, expressed condolences to the royal family and to the government and people of the United Kingdom on the passing of Britain's longest-serving monarch. Dr. Rowley stated that after reigning for 70 years, the Queen has left a lasting legacy for the people of the UK and the world. He noted that her life was marked by her strong sense of duty and dedication. Queen Elizabeth visited Trinidad and Tobago on several occasions, the most recent of which was in 2009 to participate in the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Meanwhile, the Trinidad and Tobago national flag was immediately flown at half-mast as a sign of respect for the passing of the Queen. Following news of the Queen's death, a statement from the Ministry of National Security announced that this applies to all state and non-state agencies as well as diplomatic missions abroad. The flag, which was hoisted yesterday and will be flown today as well, will also be flown on the day of the Queen's funeral service. In other news, Watson Duke has fired Farley Augustine and two others as deputy political leaders of his party, the Progressive Democratic Patriots. Just before 7 a.m. today, Duke, THA's Deputy Chief Secretary and who is also political leader of the PDP, issued a media release stating that following a PDP executive meeting last night, he declared that with immediate effect, the appointments of Augustine, Faith B. Israel, and Alicia Roberts-Patterson as PDP deputy political leaders were revoked. The release stated that these now vacated positions will be filled by the appointment of the political leader of the PDP Tobago members in good standing with the party. Duke's action comes hours after Augustine announced at a media briefing that Duke's position as Deputy Chief Secretaries would be reviewed following a Facebook video in which Duke accused the THA of not providing for the needs of 27, quote, hungry and forgotten members of the Roxborough folk performing group who are in New York performing at various events. Duke, who was in New York for meetings, said in the video on Wednesday night that the performers were treated as thieves, slaves, and castaways, and because of a lack of proper accommodation, they had to sleep in a basement for a few days with dead rats. Augustine said he was surprised by the video, given that when Duke reached out to him on Wednesday afternoon for assistance for the performers, he made every effort to help. Augustine clarified that the performers were not sent to New York by the THA, but that the THA had assisted them with over $400,000 in airfare and accommodation. In more news, the Office of the President is distancing itself from complaints about under-resourcing for the Commission of Inquiry into the Paria tragedy by its chairman, Queen's Counsel Jerome Lynch. After Lynch's statements at the procedural hearing on Wednesday about the lack of resources for the Commission to do its work, Attorney General Reginald Armour distanced himself from the arrangements and pointed the media to the Office of the President. However, the Office of the President issued a statement saying the office has no role and or responsibility for the financing or other resourcing of other aspects of commissions of inquiry. The statement continues that the President appoints commissioners on the advice of and on terms provided by Cabinet, and at the conclusion of the inquiry receives the relevant report for onward transmission, and that's the sole role involvement with commissions of inquiry. Lead counsel to the commission, Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj, has also denied any responsibility. Finally, on the international scene, the new King of England is expected to address the UK at 6 p.m. British time after the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. The new king, who will be addressed as King Charles III, has held his first audience with Prime Minister Liz Truss, who is expected to attend a service of remembrance at St. Paul's Cathedral. And that was the 12 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online, Facebook and YouTube on IWER TV. Recapping the headlines, the Prime Minister praises the Queen for her selfless duty. Watson Duke fires Farley Augustine. The President distances her office from the Pariah Inquiry tragedy. And internationally, the new King of England, Charles III, will address the UK at 6 p.m. British time. Do enjoy your afternoon and continue to be safe. I am Vanessa Thomas.
News from the street. 919fm.com.